Hello, friend. I have a question for you. Have you reached the point where you're tired of stress dictating the pace or more so the quality of your life? For many people, stress is operating on such a subtle level that they don't even notice the negative impact it's having on their health, their life, and career. But what if you could transform the stress into a force that propels you towards the vitality and success you're seeking? Would you say yes? Yes to adopting a lifelong strategy that's really simple and will pay dividends in the moments, months, and decades ahead? I hope you're saying yes because you deserve the quality of life that's actually your birthright. And I feel that if you apply these 4 steps, you'll be able to turn your stress into vitality. You see, this strategy has worked for me for nearly 2 decades, and I'm really excited to share it with you. Hello and welcome back to the Discover WellBeing podcast. I'm your host, Allison Adams, a holistic health and leadership coach and consultant, helping you thrive in all areas of your life. In today's episode, I'm expanding on last week's conversation when I talked about stress personalities and how they can sabotage your success. If you listened, I hope it resonated with you because if you don't know your stress personality and how it manifests in your life and in your work, then you're not going to be as effective, engaged, or empowered as you'd like to be. If this is you, don't worry because it's 100% normal, manageable, and I've been there myself on so many occasions. With life and all its twists and turns, you may be feeling as though you're on a perpetual roller coaster and that your life feels a little out of control and/or you're stressed. But it doesn't have to feel that way. You can actually take charge of your stress. This is what I'm about to dive into. But first, I want to let you know that you're going to be okay. In fact, you're going to be more than okay. You're going to get back in the driver's seat with these powerful steps that are really designed to transmute either subtle or debilitating built-up stress into vitality. As I mentioned in the other episode, stress and vitality are actually 2 sides of the same coin. The 4 steps of this strategy are awareness, application, attunement, and ascension. So let's look at the first step, which is awareness. It's all about understanding your stress personality. If you missed the previous episode, go back and listen to episode 23, How Your Stress Personality Can Sabotage Your Success. Your stress personality is actually going to manifest in different ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and in your relationships. But first and foremost, it's the relationship with yourself. By pinpointing the stress in the areas, you'll be able to address it more consciously and accurately. So awareness is really the foundational step towards empowerment. It's about observing without judgment, gathering all the data, and mapping it out in all the different areas. And then you're going to look at how it's actually draining your life force, your power, and your effectiveness. This is critical that you know this information. The next step is application, which simply means to apply. This is where commitment meets practice. It's not enough to know your stress personality and where it's manifesting. You need tools to manage it, and more so, you need to apply the tools. This is where the rubber meets the road, because it's up to you to choose a practice and then do it. You see, your mind and body are operating together as one. And the stress that's accumulated in your mind and body over the years has settled into your brain, your nervous system, your organs, your tissues, and your energetic bodies. Whether you suffer from acute or chronic trauma, anxiety, stress, it's all settled inside your mind-body system and has organized itself in such a way that it allows you to continue to function, but not at the level that you're designed to. In this step, you'll be meeting the stress head-on, and you're going to get a lot of resistance in your mind and in your physical body. This is through the lens and practice of Kundalini Yoga. In Kundalini Yoga, we use angles as our vehicle to raise and consolidate the energy from our lower chakras on up, to merge with the infinite field, and to break through those patterns. Now, when you hold your arms or you do a Kriya for a length of time, it can get really taxing on the body. But know you're actually doing something that's going to repattern everything and break down that stress. So when you're looking at all the areas where your stress has been built up, you need to repattern your mind and body. And when you're already fatigued before you begin, and then you intentionally choose to break through, break down, and release, this will be very confronting to your subconscious mind. It's not always pleasurable, I can tell you that. But from over 10,000 hours of practicing or teaching meditation, yoga, breathwork, I can tell you these practices work. I'll also tell you that I'm not the same person I was when I first started practicing. The pain, the suffering, the blocks, the trauma, and stress patterns were transmuted over time. There were periods when I didn't have the strength and I didn't have the answers. But the beauty of letting the practices work for you, work through you, they've been around for over 5,000 years. And when we're able to source from infinite intelligence, we're opening ourselves up to all of this flowing through us. We're merging our finite self with the infinite. It knows where to go and how to release the buildup, the patterns, the tension, and the trauma, all while strengthening and balancing the mind-body system. I will say this, though, that you need to apply a practice on a daily basis if you really want to see the outcomes and override the systems that you've been operating from for so long. The stress manifestations that have kept you alive has also kept you from living, loving, and leading at your highest potential. And it's also up to you to intuit when, where, and how long you want to engage in these practices. The secret of ongoing transformation is that you integrate them into your daily life as part of your daily rituals, even if it's 3 minutes a day, because these are adaptogenic. And so the application, no matter how short or how long, matters in the short and long term. And that's what's so beautiful. When I say adaptogenic, the repatterning through breath, asana, mantra, meditation, all of these are working together to reorganize your inner landscape and your psychomagnetic field and all the systems within. The third step is attunement, and this is all about fine-tuning your practice as much as it is about adjusting it to your needs at the time or season that you're in. Much like businesses need to change to trends and challenges, we do too. So think back to COVID for a minute, when businesses had to attune themselves to what was present. We saw that prior to COVID, that companies rarely allowed employees to work from home. Then COVID hit and it became mandatory to work from home. Now it's based much on feedback, where employers have learned that employees want a hybrid approach. So they're redesigning workspaces to make it more enjoyable for the employees and also creating an environment that's really healthy. And really, it does create a culture and a rhythm where people are in attunement with one another. And therefore, they get better results for the people and for the company. In this case, though, your aim or goal of attunement is to bring yourself into a state of alignment and harmony. Your human organism is vibrating constantly at a frequency that you set. It's either set to stress, it's set to calm, it's set to empowerment. The mind strengthens and the nervous system strengthens. And then you activate your glandular system, so it's all working together. And all of these are the benefits of coming into a state of homeostasis, where you're calm, where you're clear, and where you're actively highly focused. And these are the benefits of coming into a state of homeostasis, where you're calm, you're clear, and you're actually highly focused and functioning. And that is the sense of vitality and wholeness. And when you're vital and whole, you're getting into the flow, you're getting into that rhythm feel, and you're optimizing your internal landscape to harmonize and magnetize with what you want to enjoy on the outside. It's a constant process of adjusting yourself to creating a symphony, if you will, of well-being through attunement. So at the end of the day, it's all about creating harmony, which radiates outward and begins to influence all aspects of your life. Pretty cool, right? The fourth is Ascension. This step is all about rising above your stress personality and patterns so you can enjoy a state of confidence, of calm, and deep fulfillment. This is the quality of life that I'm referring to, and it's using your newly generated aligned energy to propel you forward. In Kundalini, it's called harnessing your prana or your God force. God in this reference stands for generating, organizing, and distributing your energy. We have the cosmos inside of us, but we need to consolidate our energy. And when we're scattered in stress through anxiety, depression, and the energy cannot move in an optimal way, then we can't reach the target that our mind has set. Your energy and practice of self-leadership is key. And when you do the first 3 steps in this strategy, you'll naturally ascend to a higher frequency and manifestation. 3 additional elements of ascension are intention, intuition, and integrity. These also just naturally come to the surface. You might have to practice at first, but over time, they will be part of a natural embodied state. And this is how you elevate from merely managing stress to thriving in spite of it. It's essential to be living in alignment with your highest and future self. And it's a constant process of evolving and expanding your capacities. So this simple 4-step sustainable strategy to turn your stress into vitality is a lifelong practice for the constant obstacles and opportunities to elevate yourself and to cultivate the quality of life. But first, you need to let go of what no longer serves you. And when you have a stressed personality that so many others in our lives can see and is holding us back because we can't see it for ourselves, this is a way that we can take action, and then we'll have a greater experience for all of us. And you'll ultimately be getting more of what you really want and less of what you don't want. And that begins to shape your life. At this point, you might really be inspired of all the possibilities. However, as I mentioned in step 2, that you need to apply Kundalini practices. Now, this isn't 100% true, that you can apply as many practices that you're currently doing that are working for you. This has been my path and how I applied these Kundalini practices, mantras, breath work, and kriyas day in and day out. However, if you're finding that Kundalini is not your vibe, and stick with what's working for you. The key is to be consistent. I invite you to go back and listen to episode 23 and see how your stress personalities are showing up. And if you are really curious and want to embrace a Kundalini practice, then go ahead and reach out to me directly, either on Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, and we'll be able to have a conversation, as private coaching opportunities are available but on a limited basis. I'll also put a link in the show notes to Thrive Weekly, which is a 52-week paid newsletter. And it's the best investment because you'll get 52 weeks of these practices dropped into your inbox, and then you'll be able to practice them throughout the week and have them on demand at any time. You can even share them with your family. I want to close the episode by saying thank you for being a listener and joining me on this path to living a more vibrant life. Please share this episode with anyone you know who would benefit, and you know that we're all in this together, and that your greatest wealth is your health. So with that, much love, stay well. Are you enjoying the Discover Wellbeing podcast? If so, I would love to hear about it. Leaving a review helps more people find us and really makes a difference. So share your thoughts on Apple Podcast or your favorite platform.